for a few things. All black tech wear, look like Bruce Wayne. Who's up hockey? I'm ready to shoot things.
I'm Dan Chin, director of the Jubilee-produced feature documentary Accepted, a story that follows forced.
I did not ask, my nigga. Sorry. No hard feelings, but I did not ask.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. My parents expected me to go to college.
Who went to college? Where did you go to college again?
Even though my dad didn't go to college himself, he, went through a little bit of like an associate's degree, but his main thing was a photographer. And then my mom.
Also, everyone go show love to his bro. Whoever sees this man right here, he's a whole vibe. Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Chill, bro. It's not for the masses, bro. Take my time, bro. Let them find me when they need to find me, bro. I'm underneath the algorithm right now. I'm low key, so even if it's just you and me here right now, I won't know. Let's just show we're vibing right now, bro. The people will come eventually, bro. We'll love a come up story, right? See my closet's right here. Oh, can't even see closet, but okay. Appreciate the love though. You gang, you and Zan. I don't know where Zan is tonight, but like I said, y'all niggas gonna make me stream way more throughout the week. Y'all keep giving me this positive support.
Being from Jamaica, completely different. Education being her way of getting out of that kind of environment, poverty, things like that. She always wanted me to go to school, and they both put me through private school to better prepare me for college. So they kind of started me off on the path as soon as they could.
So growing up, I actually didn't even realize there was an option to not attend college. I thought that part was mandatory, but you may or may not graduate. It was very important to my grandmother as well, being a college professor. And when she and my grandfather graduated from college and earned their master's degrees, they were literally able to take that to the bank as a down payment on a home. At the time, a college degree meant guaranteed income.
My dad was always the type of person to say, get your degree, I don't care what it's in. So I always felt a little bit of flexibility about what specifically I wanted to do. And that's why I kind of took community college as a time to try a lot of different things and see what I'm interested in and not break the bank. My name is Pam and I'm pro-college.
It's crazy because it don't matter how long you go to school for, or even if you're just starting off and going to college, sometimes people within that 2 years will never find out what they want to be. That's the thing about me, like, I never really found out what I wanted to be. I knew things I wanted to go in the direction of, but I never really gravitated towards... I'll get to it. I never gravitated towards directly, like, one fixed path, because I had so much different interests growing up, and interests, like, in high school, even in middle school. Like, YouTube was the first thing in my mind, personally. And like growing up, I was like, "Oh, this shit is not possible." Cause I have no PC. I have this shitty ass Dell laptop. I have nothing. Like I made that, and I was like, "Okay, at least let me pick something." I wanted to do sound engineering. Cause I love music. Got deep into music. I'm still into music to this day. And I was like, "Okay, maybe a little bit more plausible." Like, okay, physical therapy. That's when I started. I was a fat nigga, and I was like, "All right, I don't want to be a fat nigga no more." You know? So I was like, "All right, let me just make up my decision to go some type of way." Now, like, oh yeah, being a physical therapist means I gotta go to college for like 8 years. Yeah, I gotta conquer math, which I'm terrible at. I can do my basic math, but the algebras and the geometries, like, they kick my ass. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Terrible at advanced math. Basic math locked in, but advanced math I don't want to say never. Who knows? I'm gonna tackle it eventually. It kicks my ass going. And it's like everything else was just like, I guess I want to be a psychiatrist, but now I realize like. Literally, I can do all these things in a way and talk to y'all niggas in stream, you know? Like, I can be a therapist to niggas who are having, like, a bad time and don't know what direction they want to go in. Talk to niggas individually in the Discord and probably upload the video because that can help the next person get a good direction of what they want to do, you know? It's not, like, really a bad thing. Sorry, Never Love, you got your message deleted. I still need to tweak the Streamlab things. I can still read a little bit of it though. Yes, bro, that's facts. Like I never know what I wanted. Hey, yo, I'm still a fat nigga, but I'm still working on it. No, it's okay. We working on, like, we can't, like, I'm cut down to like 165 right now. It's not a bad thing. Don't worry about it. Do not think too hard about it. But yeah, getting to the main point, like, literally, like, it's just hard to make a decision like what you want to do and like be passionate about it, because you can just pick anything. It's like, it's not like it's McDonald's or picking like a fast food restaurant. Like, oh, I want to pick something right now, but like I'm just gonna pick it just for the day. You're picking a career. You're picking a career for life. And you even know what could happen within a year. You can see some shit. You can get more context to what is going on with the specific direction of where the field is, or even people can turn you off to the entire field. You could just fall off one day and never get into it. I feel like with YouTube and content creation all around, you have that flexibility to be yourself, do what most people do, and do it in a more relatable way. When you go to psychologists, like, niggas don't want to go to therapy. Like, the average, like, I know personally, like, Caribbean people coming from a Caribbean background, Caribbean people don't really believe in like therapy like that, like mental therapy. It's like, it's not that deep. Like, you just take it. Everyone has their hardships, but you thank God at the end of the day. Nothing's wrong with that mindset, but that's not the mindset that's gotta work for everybody, you know? So like, going through that firsthand, it's just like, yo, I handle all my problems and I internalize a lot of my problems. And personally, I'm a problem solver. I'm gonna solve my problems. I'm gonna figure out a way no matter how it's gonna be. I'll take on my problems no matter how miserable I am. I just know there's gonna be a better outcome no matter what path I decide, you know? So like, coming from a Caribbean background, like, I'm like, okay, therapy. And I'll talk to you guys, D Shada and Never Love, like, and all these other people who joined the stream. And you guys haven't really come to me about any big problems, but like, I want to make this channel, and I said this many times before, so I don't want to linger too much on it, a channel where we can talk, we can vibe, we can laugh, we can have fun, we can have Discord calls, we can play games together and just enjoy ourselves. I want to be a reason why your niggas like come home and like come straight home and not fool around and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go smoke today type shit. If you smoke, it's not my business. But I'm saying, like, it's being productive and like managing your feelings and practicing good, like, effective coping mechanisms, you know what I'm saying? And maybe just to have fun and have a laugh type shit. That's what I used to do. Come straight home in the pouring rain, 40 minutes from my school, and it's just like came straight here and just laid in my bedroom and went to sleep sometimes. And that's like, and I had my little depressive spell. Cause I wouldn't say I had full on depression. I was sad at some points, but like, it wasn't that bad. Like, it's really, it can get to that level though. And like, due to the content creators that I follow now, and even when I watched them before, the niggas really helped me out, because I could have been fucking around smoking, toting whatever I'm saying. That would been it. But yeah, this is
the main thing that I feel like I missed out on by going to community college first was that I wasn't given the opportunity to pursue leadership roles in like clubs or things that I was a part of. There is a bit of a stigma with transfer students that you're not, you weren't there on campus long enough. I encountered a lot of people who would discuss feeling imposter syndrome or feeling like they weren't good enough to be at a school like UCLA, that they couldn't do as well as the people who had been there all 4 years. And I definitely felt that feeling sometimes as well.
Can the disagreeers step forward?
There was no expectation for me to go to college whatsoever. So it was really my personal decision to go. I saw a lot of poverty like in my community, in my neighborhood. And so how do I avoid this situation as an adult? There was no plan B for me. So it was like, if I don't do it, I'm going back to my hometown and I'll be working at a factory somewhere, or I can do it and, see what happens.
College's use of affirmative action is problematic.
So my personal experience with affirmative action, when I went to the PWI, I was chosen pretty much based on affirmative action. There was There's a lot of heavy marketing, hey, come to our school, come to our school. Affirmative action can be problematic in the sense that when these students reach campus, there is no place for them.
Yeah, it's like, okay, they have clubs, they have other people that they could reach out to, but it's more like once we get you in, you're on your own. You gotta figure it out by yourself. And I also think it's being problematic when it comes to society, because now you're having a lot of white Americans saying that the only reason this person got into this school was because of this reason.
Especially private institutions, these Ivy League schools, certain types of people attend these schools. If you don't necessarily fit their standards, then once again, you can be ostracized from that group. My name is Zakia, and I'm pro-college. Not going to college is a privilege depending on who you are and who you know. I feel like colleges support minorities depending on where you are. For me personally, I'm from Baltimore. There were opportunities for minorities. Of course, it's a majority minority city. If I was in another state that was maybe more conservative or predominantly white, I do feel like I would not have had as many opportunities.
Meritocracy can't exist in the same place where you have nepotism and legacies and all of that. But there's always some sort of an action involved in getting people into universities. I personally know someone who attended classes at a certain Ivy League university with a future president. And he was a terrible student, but of course he got in because he was legacy and his family donated a building. So, and that's how you become president. That's America. Affirmative action is good to give people an opportunity who wouldn't otherwise have it.
I think the intention is good, and you can't speak to intention when the system looks the way it does.
We also have to factor in the aspect of finances and money and schools making money. And when we're talking about intention, yes, there might be one professor that's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. But that doesn't speak for the entire university. That doesn't speak for the board. Is the intention to give us minorities an opportunity, or is the intention to not hear complaints?
To boost their numbers, boost their diversity levels.
Well, I actually think about it differently. I think affirmative action, definitely works against nepotism. And I feel like if it were no affirmative action, a lot of black students wouldn't be able to go to PWIs. And so I agree that, once you get there, there is a difficulty being a student of color on a predominantly white institution. With that position, it also was the other side that would say that same thing. They would say, we won't let you in because you won't be a good fit here, because you won't fit the culture. And that's the way that they would use to bar.
I was speaking to myself the whole time. I hit the button by accident. Nigga said, I think my mic is muted. Oh, good man. I was speaking to myself. I wasn't saying much though. I was listening. I know what affirmative action is. I did this shit twice.
People from being able to go. And so, I won't say like it's better for them to turn us away because they don't have the resources. Like, let me get there and let me figure that out for myself versus you telling me that I won't be a good fit there. And that's what affirmative action allows. And I also will say, like, white women benefit from affirmative action more than any other minority group. It's not necessarily about, students of color specifically being allowed on campus. It's about, minorities being allowed.
A degree doesn't qualify you for most jobs.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I think where we're seeing the world currently go in terms of the job market is a lot of employers are hiring for experience. They're hiring to see.
Where are they hiring for experience? Cause I want to know. Me personally, I would love to know where they're hiring for experience. Because I'm not, like I said, I've been applying to my jobs, trying to get the fund together, trying to get the YouTube a budget update. Like, you guys are stingy. Like, I'm not gonna put all my personal information, how much I'm making. But I'm making so-and-so said money. Now I'm like, okay, I've been at this job for so-and-so a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? It's time for me to move on. Like, I've been in this job since high school. It's time for me to move on. I'm not trying to work in fast food. I'm trying to do something that's like during the day, preferably in the morning, so I can just do it, come back home and handle my business. And hopefully it just doesn't have me standing in one place all day. That's all I require, really. And hopefully flexible hours, and maybe I don't have to work weekends so I can be able to stream for you guys. Now I was like, yo, that just knocked out a lot of jobs, because a lot of niggas are trying to have niggas work graveyard shifts out there, work at 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. because majority of people are not trying to do that. No more people are not trying to do that. But like I said, as a black man myself, it's hard for me to get a job out here. And maybe I'm not willing to do everything, so that means I'm not doing everything I can, but like, I gotta balance two things at once, because it's YouTube things in one job, and what's it called, everything else is another job, you know what I'm saying? But YouTube's not paying. So I gotta make sure I keep my head straight. I feel like that's where the people fall off, because people prioritize making money above all else. And it's just like, yo, let me drop YouTube. Let me drop social media. Let me drop trying to make my own business, because at the end of the day, people gotta look at it as you wasting time. You know, it's hard. It's really hard. It's difficult out here. But like, yo, it's really hard to get a job that pays you well. I'm not saying you need to get like a fucking 100K a year, but like to keep you alive, especially with the recession going on, it's difficult out here. Especially for someone who's just got out of high school, bro, with no degree, bro. It's difficult. And you're not trying to use all your days just to, you know what I'm saying, work, be underneath a building. It is difficult.
Do you know what you're talking about?
Difficult.
And that's where I think internships really come into play. And that's why a lot of college students are going for internships, is they need to go out there and get that experience, so that way employers want to hire them. No employer is going to turn you down if you're like, hey, I have all of this experience, or hey, I know how to do exactly what you're hiring for, but oh, I didn't go to college for 4 years.
Having that listed as a qualification and a requirement kind of is like a gatekeeping thing more so.
It is gatekeeping, facts.
Who's going to perform the best on the job? I'm Michelle.
And the thing is, because whenever I go on my apps and stuff like that, they do not, like I said, it literally says in red or like criteria, it says associate's degree, bachelor's degree, whatever the situation may be. I can have years in customer service, but the people gotta prioritize someone who has an associate's degree over me, because just naturally a degree, that piece of paper is really a priority. So for you to have a good job or just have the appearance, you can still have an associate's degree and do a shit job. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. But like most employees, I think also the logic is people, if you qualify everyone, and majority of people do not have degrees, any type of person will come to the job. And there are bad people who do crazy shit at the job, disrespect shit, cause nuisance, give the employer a hard time. But like, that's still generalizing, because not everyone's like that. Like, it's still logic. I get it to a degree, but at the same time, like, there's still people coming out from high school, working a job, have good customer service, have good skills, or either work with their family business, whatever they want to do, and they want to broaden their horizons. But it's still difficult because niggas are really gatekeeping your jobs. Right now, for me, I'm still trying to find my job. Yeah, I hear you, D-Shutter, bro. Just, like I said, just try best to find something that you like to do. And if not, just know it's temporary. Like, find a job that you can put up with and people, and hopefully your coworkers are just not old and just crotchety and people are just miserable. Just stay down, make your money, save your money. If you got a skill, build that up and just keep it moving. It could be a lot of talking in this video. I'm sorry, I gotta share my input.
And I'm anti-college. I became anti-college when I graduated high school valedictorian, and I realized that continuing on with college would be a death sentence. My godmother actually gave me a book called The Education of Millionaires, and she hadn't read the book in advance, so she kind of thought it was going to encourage me to invest in college. But what the book actually did was explain the stories of a lot of people who became millionaires without a formal education.
Set her up. And give her a book and said, read this.
Most companies don't take the time to like read that resume, they feed it through a machine. If you talk the talk and know certain people to jimmy your way in there, you don't really need the qualifications to do the job. People who have the qualifications don't get the job.
I've been job hunting over the last couple of months. I started like a spreadsheet where I was putting how many of them are asking for X amount of years of experience. Almost all of them were college degree needed. I still even got like maybe 3 or 4 for every 40 that I applied to.
I'm originally from Miami, and I used to work for the county, and I used to work for social events. And now that I've moved here, it's really hard for me to transition towards the same field, because I tell people, hey, look, I used to run football tournaments, I used to host food drives, but because I don't have a degree in marketing or in event coordination, people, like you said, when I put on Indeed, they say, hey, you need a degree to get in. But because I don't have that degree, I'm not even allowed in the door. My name is Kenny,
and that thing is, he said managing all these things. You know how you can contort your words to make that sound? You can be a manager off of managing a football just for charity, because you know how to talk to people, you know how to manage people. Only thing it is technicality. You're behind a keyboard and you're making schedules and doing X, Y, and Z. Maybe you're a little bit more direct and talking to the higher ups, but like literally, if you can manage that, you're locked in. Like that's literally a big ass position. But like just off of him not having a degree, he's just stunted.
And I'm pro college.
I don't like that.
Going
That's
to college
crazy.
is really important to me
Really
because
stunted.
I've had a long line of family members who have been educators. My mom, who passed away from cancer, was a teacher.
Oh, wow.
And when she came to this country, the only dream that she had for me was to go to college. In the early stages of me going to school, it felt like a very hard burden to carry.
It's hard.
The fact that I don't know
really
what I
hard to
want to
hold.
do when I go to school, but I just have to do it because it's somebody else's wishes. But eventually, when I started growing up and realizing that I have my own reasons for going to college, and I, on top of that as well, can fulfill my mom's dream, was something that really kind of pushed me towards wanting to continue my education and going to school.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
All student loan debt should be forgiven.
Also, I'm scared of going to debt. Yep, that's a fear of mine. Debt. Whew. That's a big word for me.
It's crazy to me that you go for 4 years and you are paying off hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and you might actually meet all of the payments and you still have like double to pay. A really popular payment plan that we've been seeing, Purdue University started doing this. It's called income share agreements. So instead of paying for
I have no clue what this is. A financial structure in which an individual or organization provides something of value, often a fixed amount of money, to a recipient who is in exchange agrees to pay back a percentage of their income for a fixed number of years. Interesting. Okay.
Your degree up front, if college actually helps you land that job, you start to pay a small percentage of your salary over the span of a few years. And after 5, 6, 7 years, whatever percentage you pay, great. If not, and you're not making a lot of money, then like the college actually failed you in helping you get that career that it was supposed to in the first place.
Fire.
Like that. It puts accountability on the institution where it should be.
Absolutely.
Not the borrower.
It's very easy to be like, well, in like
That's
the Nordic
actually really
countries,
good.
you pay $5 and you get your degree. Like, it's easy, but it's different here, and it has been, and it will be unless some big change happens. But I don't know what that is. I don't know how do we address the millennials who went through college and have racked up billions in debt, and how do we change it to make it better for our future generations too?
And I really think it should be canceled just because of the pretenses in which the loans were actually given out. I'm like, it's literally the definition of predatory lending in terms of, giving thousands of dollars to someone with no credit score. Yeah.
That's crazy. You have no credit card when you're in college. Or you will develop to get one, or you feel like you might have to because they have deals, but like, they really loan you thousands of dollars, overload you to pay for what you need to pay for. And if you don't got financial aid, oh my God, it's so bad.
And so, when they get those loans and they don't really understand, like the interest is racking up, and then 6 months after you graduate and whether you have a job or not, you're gonna have to start paying them back.
Yo, that's insane.
Why, y'all? What's going on?
My disagreement is in the way that it's handled. There is this particular scam which is widespread. People have gotten caught up in other scams, and those are not just immediately forgiven. I do understand that it's kind of like it's a different situation because of how much pressure was placed upon you getting into this scam, even governmental pressure as well, which is why, they bear some responsibility in it.
I was a victim of one of these scams. I took a few loans out, and then my last year, I didn't have enough, and so I took a $5K loan, and that one was the worst one. Like, what held me back from stepping forward was the word all. Some people might have taken out that loan, gone to college, and now they're making tons of money that they can afford to pay it back. If somebody's capable of contributing, then why wouldn't they? I'm Daniel, and I'm anti-college. I took a lot of different classes while I was in art school, and I gained, I guess, a wider set of skills than my other brother did. The thing that felt unfair to me was that it cost the same for us to go through college, yet I got a better return on my schooling than he did, and he still has to pay the same amount that I was having to pay. If someone's unsure of their career path, is it worth them going hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt when they don't know what they're gonna do with their life?
Exactly. That's the
College
main thing.
campuses are radicalizing young people.
Radicalizing. I'm so lost in these terminologies.
I hesitated at first because I was interpreting that as the universities influencing people, but I don't think that's the case. I think people who might have certain beliefs are going to college and just spreading it to their peers. So in that regard, I would say college campuses are contributing to that.
When you see a headline and you see that a college is pursuing this or it's agreeing with this, I feel like it has a lot more damage towards a story, as if the school is promoting this type of behavior. And I feel like because they notice that a lot of people are getting a lot of attention for those specific schools, it's like, okay, let's give them more incentive to do it, because it's helping our name get out there.
If you're not, in these spaces where you're hearing a lot of arguments from every side, it's easy to be like, well, that doesn't apply to me, so why would I care? I think for me, at least, being in a college environment, I was forced to see these things and more exposed than I would have been if I hadn't gone.
When I heard the word radical, I paused it for a second, because I think it has a negative connotation just in the media. And so I feel like when you hear people say radical anything, you're like, okay, that sounds like something bad. I feel like it's really the education. They're learning more about the society and about the history of the government in America. And so that does sometimes make you angry and makes you want to speak out and, become an activist for a certain topic or position.
I don't know personally, but I've seen a lot of people who go to what's the class called? Sociology class or philosophy classes, and they'll change up and become a whole different people. Or a lot of black people in general, they have the African American studies, and they're learning about this and learning about that stuff that's not typically taught in high school. And then they come back activists, knowing about this, and they get deeper into it. It's really fire, but I feel like that shit should have been learned about in high school, you know what I'm saying? Instead of teaching us and watering down this American history. Because a lot of cases it was American history. You have to learn American history in American history books. You're not learning about black history unless it's contributing towards American history. You learn about slavery, but you don't learn a lot about the nitty gritties about slavery, TikTok has done a good job of getting better at it, because people are like, oh yeah, this was actually the case. Or YouTube too, if you look deep enough, they teach you about oh yeah, I don't know, what's an example I can come up with? But so-and-so figure is not who you think it is. Or Columbus. Columbus was not as a great of a person as he was made to be. He's a fraud type shit, I don't know, I feel like that's really good, just to expose that type of shit. But it should be taught way earlier.
In my mind, though, it's no different than
what
algorithms are perpetuating on social media right now. If you're on Twitter, you're going to be following people that are within your space, and you're going to be seeing that content. And I think that's actually playing more of a role in radicalizing and doing more in the political space than what we're actually seeing at college campuses.
Me personally, I grew up in a conservative Christian household. Growing up in those environments, I feel like radicalization, it really starts at home. It starts with what your parents tell you about people. I think that when we get to college,
well, that's why I said TikTok for information. I wouldn't say do all of that now, because you gotta do. I would say when you see something on TikTok, is take it for face value. You're supposed to take everything you see on social media. Do not think what you see on social media is absolute law, or like I said, take it for face value and take that opening, that opening to where you didn't know, and look it up on Google. Do your research on it. Do not take anything on social media for face value. If you see something about so and so laws overturned and stuff like that, do your research and try to learn about it, or find someone on YouTube who can cover it better to further explain it. But do not take it for face value, because some people are wrong. Some people do not know what they're talking about. Some people see headlines, and people know that people do not look deeper into it, and they just attach to that, and they just keep on firing. You know what I'm saying? It's recently, there's a bad. It's not a bad example, but it's a funny example. Playboy Cardi kissed a man allegedly, and it's oh, he kissed a man. That was on footage, 4K. And then I looked in the comment section, I clicked on another video, and for perspective was for that perspective originally, it looked crazy. Not crazy because I'm saying, but you know how people are. But you look at another perspective that another person posted, it's he missed, and then he went to go hug him. The fan in the crowd. So that, people just blew out about abortion. People oh yeah, Cardi's your savior. Cardi's your mans. Oh yeah, this is a Playboy Cardi fan. Oh yeah, Playboy Cardi stands coming to you know what I'm saying? Coming to the rescue. Oh yeah, YB could never type shit. Literally, it's just a bad angle. It looked really crazy. If I can find a video, I'll probably show you guys, but we'll see.
We're in more of a free space to voice these opinions. And even on social media, there's also a level of anonymity, so people feel more comfortable sharing certain viewpoints. I feel like these things start at home, and they're just pushed more to the forefront once you get a little older.
Colleges prioritize making money over providing quality education.
That's what I think. I feel like high school's like that too.
We all agree. How nice.
Everyone's agreeing. quality
As
education.
someone who works at a college, it's a business first, and I see that firsthand. You know, I think it really does come down to the bottom line for a lot of institutions in terms of them making money. And so they will make certain decisions in terms of, you know, what will allow us to make more money, what makes us look better as an institute versus, you know, necessarily the care of the student being the primary concern.
The teachers that I had at community college were no better or worse than the ones at UCLA. University. Sometimes better. They were nicer, they were more approachable, smaller class size, more classes available in community college. When I got to UCLA, I thought, like, there's one class and it's only at 5 p.m. Are you kidding me? Like, how am I supposed to make a schedule about that? So I kind of realized a lot of things when I got to UCLA that, like, this is not exactly what I thought it would be.
The college that I graduated from, they had a heavy focus on freshmen. It was all about freshmen. Bring in more freshmen because the graduation rate is already so low. Freshmen bring in money, freshmen are there the whole year, and then if they stay, they stay. If they don't, they don't. They were changing all of the dorm buildings to freshman dorms so that only freshmen have housing.
Can you talk about the quality of dorms too?
Oh,
fucking God, that's so wicked, bro. Yo, that's so wicked. Like, let me break this down. You're graduating high school. You're getting off. Like I said, you just graduated. You just completed your summer. I'm about to head off to this college. You got your room, your board. You have your day, your move-in day, all that stuff. You get your board. You're so quick to leave from your parents. Of course, any high school graduate would want to leave from their parents. Go to college. They sell these things, make the dorms look all nice, approachable. You do your campus tours, and they are really just selling these things to you that you have no choice. And if you have a full ride, you have a full ride. Like, they're really just selling these things because not everyone can afford to do it. But people want to go to college. At the end of the day, they want to keep on pushing it, and the freshmen don't even know better. I hate when people take advantage of people who do not know better. Like, when people like manipulate like younger people, like I guess personally, like, a pet peeve of mine. I hate manipulation of people who do not know better, and I feel like that's like that's wicked. That's evil. That's truly evil. That's how a lot of people end up in a lot of bad situations. And in this case, this allows freshmen are ending up in debt, and then for the sophomore year, or if they choose to stay in the college longer, they're going home. Like, you're literally going home that next semester, or that not even making it to the sophomore year, or dropping out. One of those 3 factors, or one of those many factors. That's so bad.
Oh,
that's terrible. Tens of thousands of dollars you're paying.
Really
terrible. Yes.
What is that? How does that make sense?
Also, when you look at public institutions and you see the salaries, 90% of the time you're going to see that the highest paid person is a college coach. You know, and that'll show you where the actual money is going to, and it's like millions of dollars more than every other person that works at the institute. My name is KC. I am pro-college. College was an opportunity for me, definitely.
I hear his perspective,
with
though.
The ability to lift me out of poverty. I grew up in a single-parent household, raised by my mom, and so I think that just the ability to go to college and earn a degree set me up for higher paying jobs and the ability to pay my mom's bill as well as be a better person in my community.
The college acceptance system is rigged.
It's fucking rigged. Oh my God. It is rigged. When I found, hold on, one more thing. When I found out, I applied for so many colleges, not gonna lie, and I know they had the best grades and none of that stuff. Like, literally, like, when I never got my acceptance letter, bro, I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, they could have at least got me, you know what I'm saying, put me somewhere. I got like some crazy out-of-state college. I'm not leaving out-of-state, bro. My mother and father are here. Why do I need to go to a different state? These sundown towns, I'm not trying to get, you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to get GG'd. But like, yo, it's crazy. Because like, I at least get accepted to one college. I got accepted to none of my colleges, bro. It was crazy. My grades were not even horrific. They were just like, okay, but at least one will pick me up, right?
I went to one of these events that the school that I was really strong about, just to learn more about the admission process. And my mom ran into one of these acquaintances she met from like back in the day. He had put all of his children through the school. And one of the things he told us was that the school made it super competitive to get in so that their acceptance rate looks like, 8%. But for transfers, it's much higher. Like, that's the way into, I would argue, most of these schools if you don't have the proper grades, or maybe you can't afford it that year. There's back doors, and I'm just hearing that, I'm assuming there are more back doors.
My dream college when I was in high school was I really wanted to go to Georgia Tech. I started my college admissions process in West Virginia, and going and visiting the college counselor on Georgia Tech's campus, they were like, this is what you need to do, these are what you need to hit, this is how many APs you need to have. My junior year, my parents moved us to Tennessee, and I ended up applying to Georgia Tech from Tennessee, and I got denied. And I was heartbroken because I had met all of the stats that she had told me to meet. I ended up calling my admissions counselor at Georgia Tech because I developed a relationship with her, and I remember crying with her in the car and just being like, what happened? And she straight up told me that if you would have applied from West Virginia from your school, you would have gotten in. My name is Mehek, and I'm anti-college. When I first entered college, I thought that you had to have a college degree to be successful and to start your own business. And I met a bunch of people that had dropped out of college that were between the ages of 18 and 23. That was eye-opening to me because there were people that had raised millions of dollars to start their own companies and they didn't have that college background. My mom has her master's, my dad is a doctor. So for me to turn around and say, hey, I actually don't even think I need 4 years of college, I think I can actually just go out and do things on my own. It was a big cultural shock for them.
That's crazy. That's like Dexter Duff.
I think about college as like what we said in terms of being a business. And I feel like all businesses are rigged to make as much money as they possibly can. The institute makes more money when students are out of state and paying out of state tuition. Knowing what we know about college acceptance, what would you all want to see? Like, there's no way that every person that wants to go to a particular college can go. So it's like they have to find some way to weed people out.
I think, like, why not? Like, really, why not? If you decide that you're not fit to go to the school, like, I understand, like, yeah, it shouldn't be 100% like acceptance rate. Like, you guys be on dicks. Like, if people do not make it through the task or the tribulation of going through like a school, if your GPA is like 1.0, you go to Yale. They accept you to go to Yale. You're like, yo, this is overwhelming. This is too much. I can't do this right now. You take a step back and you do that for yourself. Why shouldn't you have the choice to take a step back? Maybe it's like a money thing. Like, oh yeah, like it's like it goes in hand with, like, niggas are looking at this shit as a business instead of just educating future people all over. And one thing I learned about businesses pretty recently, like, most businesses not gonna teach you to be like on their level. They're gonna put that stigma. They gotta put that stigma like, oh, you can learn from me, but you gotta pay a certain amount of price. People not gonna teach you for free. And that's how they're making their money. That's their hook. That's how they're gonna get you reeled into information. Okay, you wanna learn YouTube or you wanna learn how to edit? Come on my on my Patreon or this and this and buy my editing pack so I can make my bread. Like, people not gonna teach it to you. I understand, like, producers to where producers are like, oh yeah, making money, is doing, like, it's like they're selling their beats. That's different in my opinion. But like, literally, people will not give you information for free. Like, literally, information is so valuable that, like, it can be taxed. You are paying OD money for it, bro. It's really bad. Like, everything is a business when you look at it. That's why so many niggas are struggling, because niggas are consuming these businesses. People are going to college. People are buying Nikes. Niggas are buying, what's it called, StockX shoes. Niggas are buying all these things for twice the price that they even manufactured for, or 10 times what they're actually worth. And it just ends up people being broker, people going in debt quicker, people trying to flex and trying to show off so-and-so money that they have, but they really don't have because they got on a loan because the bank gave them a grant or whatever the heck situation was. But they give them a loan for this so set amount of money, and now they're stuck because they can't pay it back, or you're stuck paying it off, but they don't have their priorities straight. So this creates a cycle of niggas, especially people in the black community, like, people are trying to flex so much that they cannot buy shit that they need. When this YouTube stuff blows up for me personally, or when shit really starts like coming in, I hope that I don't become a person that like really just focuses on just spending OD amounts of money that I don't need to. You know, I wish I can just keep things simplistic and take care of the things I want to do. I want to have my joys. Like, I want to have a pet. I want to get pet right now because I cannot provide for my pet. I want to have a kid right now because I cannot provide for my kid. When I get to that point where I could provide for both of those things, and even my peoples and my household, then I can have the luxury of spending a little bit of money a little bit more frivolously. But it shouldn't be to the point where I'm just blowing it off on little things. You know what I'm saying? You should always try to find the best price If you don't like something truly, don't buy it because other people have it, you know? I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. It's just bad. I just know it's bad. And we gotta get worse because things are already getting more and more expensive. Gas is up, everything's up.
There needs to be more transparency overall with universities. Students really need to be like aware of like what they're going to college to do, who they are looking to learn from. I think will be beneficial. Can they learn from them once they get there? I'm Kyle and I'm anti-college. If I could do it all over again, I would choose not to go to college because there have been several benchmarks that I can think of where I've progressed creatively that have happened outside of the classroom in terms of experience or things that I have learned from people working in the industry or lessons that I have discovered about myself just from sitting doing the craft that I want to do that more or less was not taught in the classes that I thought I would be taught.
Shocker.
We should stop telling kids that they should all go to college.
I think we should just tell kids to follow their dreams, whatever they may be.
Yeah, I think some kids, if they are really, really excelling in the school, then yeah, that you want to encourage that one.
Direction,
but,
yep.
You'll always have that kid that just has no idea what they want to do, and that person shouldn't be pressured to go, shouldn't even be encouraged to go. They need to just figure out something. But
or if their skills are not conducive to like a
exactly.
normal degree, like go to trade school, learn a trade, and you'll make money. You know?
I think that we need to switch away from telling every single kid that you need to go to school, more like, hey, look, if you don't want to go to school, here are some other options.
Yeah, definitely like more career focused, more professional focused.
Make it happen.
Like especially in like some of our cases when we're expected to go to college and people don't care like what degree you have. That's a little bit of a red flag because you really need to be intentional about the choices you make.
College is no longer an indicator of future success.
Take the practices to do that. And it's always okay. I'm pausing a lot, but it's a passionate topic. Like follow your dreams. That's the most and foremost things that everyone wants to do. Through that, going through college is it being a stepping stone. It is important to go to college if that's the direction you're heading in. You cannot be a doctor if you do not go to college. You could be some black market doctor selling organs. That's different. But like literally, just follow your dreams. You can achieve everything you want to do if you put your mind to it. I don't want you guys or anyone to take that statement lightly. Like literally, put your mind on it, achieve it, and go through with it because it's gonna work out eventually. People may not have the best family situations. People may not have the most money, the outcome, the best situation, or grow up in the right place. But if you really set your mind to it, it's really achievable. And like I said, also all men are not born equal, which is very apparent. But you gotta do what you gotta do for yourself to be able to put yourself in that position, no matter how long it takes, no matter what you might have to sacrifice. Because if you get to that point, it will all end up happening regardless of that. You can buy that car at a later time in your life and just rock this 2001 whatever car you're rocking right now because it's a stepping stone. You think you peak at 20, you're crazy. If you think you peak at 30, you're crazy. Youth is literally in the mind. If you want to be bitter, you're bitter. That's it. Everything's a mindset. There are people who act like they're still in their 20s, still young, because of however their positive outlook of life is. It's that simple. All mindset. People feel miserable because they're going through hard situations and they can't do what they need to do. Sometimes it's beyond you, and it's just like, yo, shit just sucks. You just gotta try your best to go through your emotions and just try your best to keep yourself stable. If you have kids, then it's your priority. But you also should prioritize yourself too. At the end of the day, you gotta take care of yourself and you gotta take care of your people around you. I feel like everyone wants to do that. Everyone wants to buy your mom a house. Everyone wants to take care of their pops. Everyone wants to take care of their kids. Everyone wants to make sure that everyone's good. I just don't like people exploiting other people because niggas just trying to make more money. I hate exploitation. I hate scamming. I hate all that shit. People trying to live an honest living or people not knowing what the next person knows and people taking advantage of that is ill. Follow your dream, kids. People, forget kids. Nothing about kids following their dream, but like people, follow your dreams and you can achieve anything and everything you want to achieve. That is all I have to say. And I don't want to speak too much about this because I'm not in a position to where I'm rich and successful, but I want to hope that I keep the same mindset even when I do have 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, and 500,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I really hope and pray that I can keep that mindset still. But it's hard. Like I said, it's hard for all of us. But there's too many people who are in the same situations that me, E-Charlotte is in, Never Loved is in, Cape, all these people who are either in high school or coming out of high school or in, that they just feel like they have no options. And there's so many people like that. It's so common that we just need to band together. That's all we have at the end of the day. We need to support each other. We need to hold each other in high regard. We need to celebrate each other's successes. We need to help each other, talk to each other better, put down the bullshit that people are trying to do. You're lame if you try to put other people down for what they're trying to do and make things happen, make things shake. Because like at the end of the day, we all had the same goal. Back to what I was saying earlier. Getting moms, the crib, living good, keeping everyone healthy, living a perfect life. Ideal. Go on vacations, go to Jamaica, go to the Bahamas, go to Puerto Rico, go to Cancun. Like everyone's trying to do that, bro. Or even just sitting down and just having a stable household. All the same goals to different destinations and different people in those situations. But it's too crazy how I meet D-Shot on TikTok and they niggas trying to support me. Or I just meet Cape. Or I meet Colette. Like it's not coincidence, it's fate. That's why I know I'm meant to do this type of shit. I know I'm destined to do this stuff and we're gonna keep it going. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's just crazy to me.
Internet with just all of this access to knowledge, you can create your own future outside of college. And I think it's really good for helping you move into career paths where like doctor, lawyer, where like you do need a higher education.
That's coming from.
I think other than that, I think it's a lot cheaper and it makes a lot more sense for people to find a trade school or to go to their local community college and just get the skills that they need to so that way they can start working.
I was going to say, I definitely don't think that college is for everyone, but I think that most of the time when we hear conversations of people saying you should go to college, it's usually from people who did not go to college. It's like generic advice in terms of like, you should do something with your life. That's really what they're trying to tell you, and they just use college because I do think it is still an indicator of success. Like I know you said it's not, statistically, you are more likely to make like $1 million more than an average high school graduate.
That's a wrap on the group discussion.
Ooh, it's gonna be a long video. We're gonna be ending that one for a minute. Let's see, college is not exactly necessary. It depends on what you want to hear. For example, if you want to go to a doctor, college is necessary, trying to work. But that does not require a college degree. Let's say nowadays there's so many options for college, we cannot label it as something that's completely necessary. Yeah, and like I said, if it was something that was 10 years ago, 2008, yeah, you are going to college. I would be going to college if I was raised in 2008. If I was going in high school, graduating, college, locked in, no YouTube, sad story. As far as depression and mental health disorders were not discussed. Yeah, that was the big one. A lot of people leave college because of burnout, depression, anxiety, first person in their family to go on. In my case, who graduated early, not get enough financial support, and do not want to go into debt. Yep, that's me. So there's a lot of opportunities for people who do not have access to internships and no social support of somewhat robotic career counseling. Yep, that's how it was for me. Exactly like that. Yeah, you should definitely focus more on like what's it, mental health and all that nice stuff too. Because mental health is a big part of it. Like it's